Good morning, my name is Lindsay Weems, and today I'm going to speak to you about why you should be an advocate for death with dignity. This is a picture of Brittany Maynard. Brittany Maynard is a youthful 29-year-old California resident who had just recently gotten married. She had finished a master's degree in education, and she was looking forward to spending her life with her new puppy and her husband when she began to experience debilitating headaches. Her headaches were so intense that she was not able to function. She couldn't get out of bed, she couldn't go to work, and she was very, very ill. So of course, like any ill person, she went to the doctor. You can imagine how devastated she was to find out that she had a stage 4 tumor, brain cancer tumor. Brittany was faced with several options. In the beginning, she chose to have an operation to remove the tumor from her brain. You can imagine her dismay when she found out 2 months later that the tumor not only had returned, but it had grown bigger than it was even prior to her surgery. So now she was faced with two options. Number one, she knew that she was going to die, and it was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when she would pass away. So she could choose to prolong her life and engage in chemotherapy and radiation, which would continue to make her very ill, would weaken her, and would eventually lead to her being incapacitated and unable to care for herself, requiring 24/7 around-the-clock care. That's one option. Or option number two was she could choose to allow the cancer to continue on its path, but she could take control of her situation and choose when the right time would be to end her life, which she knew would be inevitable. Imagine that you're in that situation and you don't have the option, but you're faced with having your family members be burdened with your care, and that you are burdened with intense pain and eventually decline in function. You should have the right to be able to choose how and when to end your life whenever you're faced with a grave illness. Currently, there are 5 states which allow death with dignity acts. 3 of them have passed state legislation. 2 of them have actually passed judge-ruled cases which have allowed individuals to choose this option. You should not wait until you're faced with this option, this choice, to be an advocate for your right, because by then it might be too late. The right for a terminally ill patient to be able to end their life peacefully and with dignity is only afforded to the individuals in these states. Many individuals will say that if these laws are passed in more states, that individuals will take advantage of it and they will circumvent the rules in an attempt to get medication to end their life shortly. However, that has not been proven to be the case. In fact, in looking at this report from the Washington Department of Health, they took a study from 2009 to 2013 on how many individuals requested the life-ending medication. It ended up being 549 patients. Of that, 525 actually chose to ingest the medication to end their life. Similarly, in Oregon, in the 17 years that death with dignity laws have been passed, over 1,000 patients have requested the medication, and less than half of them have ingested the medication in order to end their life. Our very own Declaration of Independence states that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that is, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Happiness, or the right to be free from distress and pain, is a right that should be afforded to all American citizens. So what if you are met with opposition? When death is inevitable and looming, we should be able to make our own choices about how and when we choose to go. It should not be up to our government to make those decisions for us. So now is the time to take action. This is what you should do. If you believe that you should have the right to choose how and when to end your life when you are faced with a terminally ill prognosis, you must make your wishes be known, not only to your family members, but also prior to that, you have to advocate for government legislation in order to make that available. In the state of North Carolina, you can go to the North Carolina General Assembly website. On the North Carolina General Assembly website, you can search for your legislatures that service your area by clicking on Who Represents Me. When you click on that, it will take you to an interactive map that will show you who your representatives are in your area. I urge you to act now. Do not wait until you have a family member or you are faced with this decision. In North Carolina, Kay Hagan, Richard Burr, and Congressman David Price are our state representatives until 2015. Death with dignity is an inalienable right that should be provided to all terminally ill patients. Advocate for death with dignity laws in the pursuit of your right to choose how and when to pass away when you are faced with a grave illness.